what's up guys, Benny here, and welcome to the best settings for Call of Duty Black Ops 7 in an absolute no-nonsense guide so you can get set up in the fastest possible time. We'll be going through everything you need from your controller settings, your graphics, your audio, your interface, and a few other bits and pieces that people always forget to change. We're going to start off with the controller and then work our way through so it's as easy for you to follow as possible. Now, with your controller settings, the first thing you're going to change is your button layout. You're going to want to make sure that you have tactical. This means that you can then press your right thumbstick to slide, go into a drop shot. It just gives you a lot more fluid movement compared to players running on default. Such an important change. Now, sensitivity, your horizontal and vertical are always going to be the same, and I'd recommend a 1.35. Now, I know some players prefer having a faster sensitivity, but I'd always recommend start lower, work your way up till you find that sweet spot. 1.35 is what I use. Now, depending on whether you're using a PlayStation or an Xbox controller, you'll want to change this setting. If you're PlayStation, turn it on. If you're Xbox, turn it off. Just makes it easier for you to ADS and fire your weapon based on your hand placement on those controllers. So if you're using an Xbox controller, off, PlayStation on. Then controller vibration, have this off. I have no idea why anyone would turn that on. And then the next setting you're going to change is your dead zone inputs. Now, this is really, really important. Now, first things first, your left and right stick min, you want this as low as possible without getting stick drift. For me personally, it's a 3-3, but it may be different depending on your controller. But one thing that most people don't even know about is your left stick max. You're going to drop this to 80. That means that when you're moving your thumbstick, you're going to be able to trigger your fastest speed going opposite directions quicker, meaning that when you're like shouldering a corner, you can do those movements faster. It's something a lot of pro players do. Most people completely overlook it, but you only do it to your left stick max because that is your movement. Then all the other settings, just drop your trigger dead zones down once again so you can activate your triggers that little bit quicker. I use a 5-5. Then we're going to go across to aiming and then expand sensitivity multiply. You're then going to go down here and change this to a 0.85. This means when you ADS, you're going to get a little bit of better control so you can make those micro adjustments to hit headshots or upper chest. You're just going to be a lot more accurate and have better control with your aim. Then you're going to go to aiming advanced settings, open this up, and you're going to change these to instant, assist, dynamic. Also expand this and make sure that your slope scale is fully at 1. Sometimes people have it lower. No idea why, but it happens. Then we're going to back out of this. Target aim assist is on. Motion sensitivity, you don't need to worry about. We're then going to move to movement. Now, sprint assist, you're going to have this turned on. Expand this and make sure your sprint assist delay is 0 and sprint assist sideways and backwards is also on. Mantle assist, have this as off. Sideways, off, off. And then mantle assist angle is tight. Crouch assist, also off. Corner slice, have this off. It looks cool, just doesn't really help you at all. Then an important setting to change with this game is have sideways only. So this means that when you're doing jumps, you can you don't have to worry about kind of manually triggering it. You can know that if you jump next to a wall, you'll be able to kick off that sideways jump. So you can do it and completely bamboozle opponents. You'll see people breaking this a lot, but have that as sideways only. Movement behavior, I have hybrid. This does take some time to get used to, but that time spent is really worth it. So make sure to go from tap to slide all the way to hybrid. That means when you press your left stick, you can trigger the dive and then like tap. You get far better control as a player. Sprint restore on, slide maintain sprint is on, off, manual press, tap to slide, third person. And if you go into your movements, expanded settings as well, we're going to go to toggle, off, off, rounded mantle on, single tap sprint, plunging underwater is free, and then sprinting door bash is on. And then vehicle behaviors, I just have as this, but this is pretty much all the default settings. Then we're going to go to combat and ADS. Then all these settings I have as standard, other than prioritize finishing move and apply all for armor plates. As we continue down, go to combat advanced settings. Mantle cancels reload is on. Interact behavior I have in multiplayer as tap to reload. However, when you go to Warzone, you have it as prioritize interact. This just means that you're not randomly picking up all the weapons on the floor. Tap to reload is pretty important for multiplayer. And if you've been playing Warzone, you'll probably have that as prioritize interact. So make sure that's changed. Then as we continue going down, we go to overlay advanced settings, inventory control. You're going to want to turn this to stick, but then ping wheel, moderate, and default. And those are all the controller settings that you need. Next, we're going to go to graphics and the best graphic settings for you. Play on full screen all time. I'm now playing on 4K 240 hertz, thanks to my new Omen 31.5 inch Transcend Omen monitor. It's absolutely insane. Honestly, playing on 4K is blowing my mind. NVIDIA Reflex, low latency, have this as on. Then VSync, always have VSync off. The amount of people that play VSync on, just it makes you have much higher input delay. Turn that off. Then as we continue scrolling down, HDR is also off. Quality, this is the settings that I run. Upscaling is off. You can turn this to fidelity. Actually, this should be fidelity CAS. I do not know why that has been turned off. Then we've got VRAM scale 70. We've got texture resolution normal, low, off, low, very low, off, low, optimized, default, low, very low, off, low, very high, low. Actually, no, very high. That should be medium. Volumetric quality low, deferred physics quality off, water grid volumes quality off, water quality off. Now, one thing I always do when I play this game, double check your graphic settings. They have a habit of just changing for some reason. I have no idea why it happens, but it happens quite a lot. So make sure you apply those every single time you do this. Then we're going to head to view, and we've got FOV at 110. This, once again, personal preference. I'd say 100 to 110 is optimal. ADS field of view, you want this as affected. Weapon field of view is default, 90 default. World motion blur, weapon motion blur, have these off, and then drop first person camera movement and third person camera movement to least 50. These are really important settings to change if you haven't already. Now, that's everything you need to change. You can always check your benchmark as well, but you shouldn't have to. As we head to audio, you're going to go to master game volume and expand this. Now, gameplay music volume, I have a 0. I do not have the music on the game. And then I drop my dialogue volume as well to 50. I want to make sure the effects volume comes out above everything else because that's footsteps, enemy gunfire, all the important things. Cinematic music volume, once again, down to off. I use enhanced headphone mode, works best for me. You can go ahead and change that. Audio mix, I've been running Treyarch mix, off, everything off here, just because you don't need them. Then we go to interface and our final set of settings. Now, on the global settings, you don't need to change any of this. You can, of course, go to your telemetry and turn on like your FPS and stuff like that if you want to see it. But I personally don't. Go to readability. Now, there is one thing here you need to change. You go to color customization, you go to enemy, and you change the hex code to FF00FF. This means that all those red dots are going to pop out so much better on your minimap. Makes it a lot easier to see compared to the standard red. And it might be because I'm colorblind, but this really, really does help me. And you can, of course, go ahead and change anything else that you like to, but that is what I run. We then go to gameplay HUD. You can change all this is actually something new as well with Black Ops 7. You get HUD interface themes now, so you can change it to get a different theme. I use default, but could be something we could see a lot more used in the future. They'll probably have some stuff in the store for it, to be perfectly honest. HUD bounds, make sure you bring these in. Means that your minimap and everything is a little bit more central to the screen, so you don't have to move your eyes as much. Very, very helpful. Then everything here is on. You can also go here and change your crosshair color if you want to. I personally just have the default white, but some people like having it as like a cyan or a blue, something that's a little bit more popping out on screen so they can see it better. But I personally don't do that. But then that's everything you need to change in your settings. I hope this helps you. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you for more Black Ops 7 content. Thanks for watching.